gliding down to the landing after completing the Karwendel Triangle. Nice!
Many pilots dream about flying this paragliding route in the Northern Alps. It's a challenging yet beautiful Karwendel Triangle. Want to discover how to fly it safely? Welcome to the Paragliding XC Stories. Today we'll fly around the Karwendel mountain group and nature park. You'll learn how to fly legally next to an international airport, which areas to avoid when landing, and how to handle the many tricky spots along the way. I've combined everything from my own flights plus knowledge from friends and guidebooks. Feel free to ask questions or share your own tips in my Telegram group. Let's start with the big picture. We launched from Brauneck, one of the most popular flying sites in the Northern Alps, and head southwest. After crossing several tricky spots, we entered the Karwendel Massif and the nature park. When we reach the Inn Valley, we turn east and fly along this mountain chain. Our next turn point is Lake Achensee, where many SIV courses happen. The third leg of our triangle is probably the toughest. You'll deal with airspaces and often strong headwind. With good planning and a bit of luck, we cross back into the Bavarian Prealps. Here we extend our triangle north and return to takeoff. This classic route covers about 120 kilometers, though you can extend it west or south or make it shorter if needed. Because of the challenging crossings and the shape of these valleys and mountains, this route doesn't work well in strong north or south winds. Light easterly or westerly winds are much better. You'll need a cloud base of at least 2000 meters at takeoff in the morning, though 2200 and higher makes life much easier. This route involves airspaces, so make sure your flight instrument has current data. Here's something special. Look, we want to fly along the Inn Valley, but this entire area is covered by a CTR, the controlled area of Innsbruck Airport, which we cannot enter. But thanks to the Austrian free-flying community, there's an official agreement with the authorities. The parts of the CTR right above the mountain chain are covered by a special TRA airspace. We can enter it even though it overlaps with the CTR, but only when this TRA is activated. So before launching, check the airspace status, link in the description. Sometimes the TRA is still inactive when you are ready to launch. You can still take off and fly southwest, but you must check the status in the air, ask friends or check it yourself. I'll show you exactly where you must know the airspace status before continuing. You don't need a racing machine for this route, but it is quite difficult on a low NV wing. Your chances are good on a perfect day if you are comfortable with a high NV glider. With more wind and lower cloud base, you'll want an ENC wing or better. Alright, buckle up, we're taking off. Find your first thermal near the cable car station or further south over this small summit. Watch out for this cable here, it has caught many pilots. With good height you can fly directly here. The standard route follows the ridge towards the Benediktenwand summit. Don't fly too low here, climbing from below is difficult in the morning. At Benediktenwand, the more height, the better. Aim for at least 2000 meters. With 2200 or more, everything becomes easier. I'm just orbiting now. Most of the time you can't reach this altitude in the morning. You will see how easy it is when flying that high. I will be skipping all the tricky spots, but let me explain them first. So next we need to cross to these slopes and climb back to cloud base. This is our first crossing and first big challenge. Many pilots land at Jachenau and then it's game over. We fly to this small mountain called Staffel, and you'll usually arrive at summit height or slightly below. Choose left or right depending on the wind below. The east side usually works better. The goal is reaching the sunny side and gaining height over the summit. Flying low into the next valley is risky. Better to arrive over the terrain with some height reserve for finding thermals. This is the second challenging spot and we're still close to takeoff. Climbing from lower areas is often difficult, so many pilots land at NoDerivs. With patience, you might still save your flight. I'll link a video showing my low save here. If you must land, avoid the forbidden areas. These belong to the nature park with special wildlife zones where landing is prohibited, and authorities do catch pilots who land there. Stay out of trouble, land near the river instead. We need to cross to these ridges. You can fly this way or cross directly from here. Choose this ridge or this one for your next climb. Both spots are tricky, so arrive as high as possible. See, it works great over the ridges, but below it's really difficult. Strong valley wind, lee sides, limited landings and bumpy thermals, the full package. If you land here, expect visits from rangers, foresters or farmers. They are sometimes upset, so stay friendly and explain you didn't plan to land here. I'll make another video about my low save here. I haven't met with the locals yet, but my friends have. From here follow either the northern or southern ridge. This route is usually faster. Staying high matters because all these valleys are challenging for landing. Next stop, Säuernspitze mountain. Gain lots of height and decide whether to cross the ridge or fly around. When crossing, choose the left option with lower cloud base. When flying around, use the strong north valley wind to soar the cliffs and continue. Today I crossed the ridge and it works well. The advantage: you reach the sunny side immediately and continue without much thermaling needed. At the ridge end, climb as high as possible. This is tricky Scharnitz. The valley wind can be incredibly strong here, so be careful. Try using this slope to climb in the valley wind if you get too low. Our goal is reaching this terrain above the summits, but today strong southwesterly wind pushes me back and I was too impatient before starting this crossing. Should have climbed higher. I don't recommend what I'm doing now. See, the terrain is low here, exposed to valley wind, and landing options below are limited. Still, this might be where you save your flight if you catch a thermal, like I did. I also wouldn't recommend flying this low here. There are several cables and this whole area gets turbulent. Two strong valley winds collide, creating challenging conditions around Seefeld, so always fly high here. This is also where you must be absolutely sure the TRA airspace is active. Call friends or check the ATIS service yourself. If the airspace isn't active now, you must change your plan. Either fly west or return to takeoff. Here we set our western turn point and head east. This summit is crucial, climb as high as possible, I'll explain why. Monitor the airspace above, though we cannot enter it. This area creates a strong Venturi effect, so we need altitude. Avoid flying low, it's dangerous. And here it is, Innsbruck International Airport. How many places let you fly this close to such a busy airport? Amazing. But don't get too distracted, we must continue. We now fly along the Nordkette mountain chain. This is probably the easiest part of the whole triangle. Watch for the Innsbruck cable car and remember the airspace restrictions. The entire valley is CTR, so we cannot enter. But what if we need to land? Actually, there are several official paragliding landings inside the restricted airspace with an agreement from authorities. If you must land in this valley for any reason, you absolutely must stay very close to terrain until reaching the landing, maximum 150 meters above ground. That's a strict requirement, so please follow it. Flying here is straightforward, follow the ridges and monitor airspace. However, there is one dangerous place, this narrow valley, Fomper Loch, meaning the whole of Fomper Creek. Zero landing options, almost no civilization and potentially very strong wind. Never fly low there. Stay high or take the safer route to the right if you are low. Staying above tree line is key to success, and thermals are usually strong and reliable up here. We continue east. This slope can save your flight if you get low, remember that. Since I'm over the ridge, I take a shortcut to Berrenkopf mountain. This side is usually safer because the valley wind from the lake flows up the slopes, though some days the other side works too. Best to climb high over the summit for an easier crossing. I am impatient, which will cost me time on the other side. You can also follow this side back north. I'm flying early in the year, so the sun is getting lower, shading these slopes, and I choose the sunny side. Usually the valley wind blows from the north here, so you can reach this slope and soar until catching a thermal. This area can work too. Today southwesterly wind pushes back all valley winds, so I first check the slope to find the best climb. The southern wind is stronger, so I choose the south slope. After some patience training, we continue north. I suggest climbing as high as possible here, and don't try flying low along these slopes. Valley wind will probably kill all thermals, and there are no landings by the lake. There's a tricky airspace here. The boundary runs right over the peaks. Stay left to fly higher, but remember, thermals often drift east, so you might enter restricted airspace while thermaling. This airspace catches many pilots. I've seen so many unintentional violations. We continue with the most challenging part. We need to reach this mountain called Unnütz, climb high, manage the airspace and fight the usually strong headwind. Surprisingly, today it isn't too challenging. I don't max out my altitude and try these clouds instead. On the way I catch a weak thermal, and since I need more height, I stay for a while, probably triggered by the moving shadow below. Usually strong Bavarian wind makes this area challenging. Get low and you'll probably land. But today, due to southwesterly wind, as we saw at Lake Achensee, the Bavarian wind seems weakened, so I cross into the Bavarian Prealps easily. Try catching a thermal over this terrain. The thermal usually drifts south and can definitely save your flight. Next target, reach this mountain. You could glide to the landing from here, but to extend your triangle, get to these slopes. I arrive high here and the mountain works well, so let's fly north. In summer, with more time, you can extend the triangle right into the flats. Here we are, the turn point set, and we glide to landing. But first, I want to reach the slopes to get as close to takeoff as possible, maximizing the triangle size. The Karwendel Triangle is such a rewarding flight, challenging yes, but the stunning landscapes, unique airport experience and learning opportunities make it special. If you are in the Bavarian Alps, definitely try this route. Don't worry if it doesn't work first time, it's not easy. But you'll love it, just like many pilots do. Thanks for watching, I hope you found this video helpful. Reach out through my socials with any questions. Fly safe and see you in the next story!